position. The first time I believe we've ever had a blimp over a cricket match. Mark Taylor sent into bat, and look at that incredible record average of 43, but he's fallen on hard times of late despite all his experience and those 5,700 test runs. This will be 4. Maybe just a little bit full, maybe not as full, but the problem being that it was wide.
So Mark Taylor obviously a little bit edgy, not too many runs under his belt of late, and he'll be pretty keen to get bat on ball as he did on that occasion.
Yes, it wasn't a bad delivery really when you see it on slow motion. Matthew Hayden, well, he's a prolific scorer in Sheffield Shield cricket, just at 1 Test 100, still really to stamp his mark in Test match cricket. Brett Schultz back after quite a break from Test cricket on the same ground where he last played, and he's hit now for what might be 4 runs. The outfield slow from all the rain, but that's well enough timed to go to the boundary. Good shot by Matthew Hayden.
It certainly was, right off the middle of that big heavy bat he uses, just lunges forward, follow through, and it races away for 4.
Oh, that was a peach. Donald at his best.
Expect the quick bowlers to get a bit of movement off this track. There's a bit of grass on it. Bowling a very good line and leaving the Australian captain.
Schultz, who of course packed up on the first morning of the last Test match here at Centurion against England last season. And now he's dispatched away square on the offside for 4 runs. Too short, too wide.
Well, not a good start for Brett Schultz. He'll be very keen, obviously. He's been given a lifeline for this Test match, but really hasn't found his rhythm. On this occasion, too short and wide as well. And Matty Hayden, who bats most of the time at Brisbane, takes full toll of that.
Well, that's how Mark Taylor has been out so many times of late in this very poor run that he's experiencing. And it's not always just the inside edge, it's often the angle of the bat where it comes down off the face and then onto the stumps, and that was very, very close. He's bowled him. He's bowled him. Brett Schultz is back. And Matthew Hayden is gone. And an early strike for South Africa.
Exactly what South Africa needed. Matthew Hayden looked in pretty good nick and was taking full toll of anything over-pitched or short. And on this occasion, Brett Schultz does the damage. Quick shake of the head from Matthew Hayden as he walks off. But Schultz will welcome this sight, no doubt. Struggled a little bit. That one really just getting through the gate between bat and pad. Just holding its line a little bit and hitting off stump pretty hard. Look at the delight there from Brett Schultz. Celebrations. And Matthew Hayden is on his way. Let's have another look from another angle. Really just missing the pad and the bat, sneaking through and knocking back that off stump. So that's a big breakthrough for South Africa pretty early in proceedings. And Brett Schultz, isn't he absolutely delighted with that?
Yes, he's worked hard to get back. 36 wickets in first-class cricket for Western Province this season. And my goodness, how good it is to see him back. Matthew Elliott played a wonderful innings, forceful innings of 85 at the Wanderers, and at Port Elizabeth he had to adapt to a difficult situation. But lucky, 4 runs, no third man of course.
Well, very good bowling, thick enough edge to go over the top of slips. It raced away for 4, but it certainly won't fill Mark Taylor with confidence.
Clearing the 3rd slip, 3 slips and 2 gullies, and it got away. Oh, that's 4. That's a handsome shot. He drives well, he hooks and pulls well.
Started the series against the Wanderers at a very good 85, very controlled 85. This occasion he breaks out of his mould a little bit and just smashes one through the covers. Terrific shot.
A little bit wild there from Lance Klusener. His first delivery, umpire Merv Kitchen, standing in his 14th test match from England, calls it wide. And to be fair on Klusener, he was asked not to play against Western Province in the match just to get before the second test in Port Elizabeth, and didn't play, of course, in that test. Now, Simcox will go up here because there was no shot played, and it was never going to hit the stumps.
Pat Simcox certainly looks to appeal for most things. He certainly won't die wondering. That one was missing off stump by a long way, but just keeping the umpire and the batsman on his toes. We look at Paul Rifle and Justin Langer first.
This is up, and Schultz, he's got it. A marvellous catch by the big man. And he knows it. He's not the most athletic man on the field. He's a big, big fellow, but he never took his eyes off that ball. And how well he did to take it first and then prevent himself from going over the boundary rope.
Matthew Elliott loves playing the hook and the pull shot. He's had a few problems so far in the series with that particular shot. Alan Donald bowls a very quick delivery here. The line is the important thing. Top edge, Brett Schultz has to move a long way to his left. Look at that face on Alan Donald. He's not too sure if it's going to be caught or not. Good positioning from the big man. As Trevor said, he's not a great athlete, but look at that for quick thinking. Doesn't want to go over the rope. And Matthew Elliott is on his way. Very, very good piece of cricket from South Africa.
Matthew Elliott played a shot like this down in Port Elizabeth, and Adams unfortunately lost it, and he ran in the wrong direction. Otherwise he might have been faced with a similar catch. But this one didn't get away, and Schultz has now been involved in both the Australian wickets to fall. And Australia 60 for 2, and the dangerous Matthew Elliott, highly rated in Australia, is gone. The great Mark Waugh comes to the wicket, an average of 43.8. He's 11th, 100, and arguably, well, by his own admission, he's best in winning the test match for Australia at St George's Park. Well, Simcox believing that it hit pad first, so he's entitled to go up for the LBW. He didn't have much support.
No, he didn't, and Simcox has got a magnificent appeal, and I think he's just exhibiting that to everybody. There was no danger there. Well forward by Mark Taylor.
Oh, nasty one from Alan Donald. That's Donald at his best. That hurt. That probably pinned the fingers against the bat handle. Or did it hit elbow? Not elbow, wrist.
I think it was sort of in the forearm, wrist area. Let's have a look. It looks like also it missed that arm guard, which certainly can be painful. There's lots of bones in that wrist area. Let's see where it hits. Trying to get out of the way at the initial and then deciding to play it. Nasty blow on the forearm.
So at lunch, fairly even session. Australia asked to bat, and the loss of 2 wickets with 64 runs on the board. Alan Donald, who bowled so marvellously at St George's Park without any luck, just taking 1 wicket in the match. He's got 1 already today. Bad first ball from Donald. Bit of a loosener, I suppose, and it was short and wide. And that's the first ball that Waugh was faced after lunch, but he just packs it away.
He's not going to miss those. Obviously in great nick following that terrific century. Dispatch that to the boundary.
He bowled him! Donald has bowled Mark Waugh with a super delivery. Just look at the expression on his face. It's almost one of surprise, but it was pace, I think, that beat him. It raced through the gate and the off stump out of the ground.
How often do we see a batsman who gets 100 in a test match come out in the next innings and miss out? On this occasion, Mark Waugh, perhaps just a little bit late in getting down on it. There is a gap between bat and pad, and Donald exposes that, and that off stump is out of the ground. Mark Waugh obviously disappointed. He's in pretty good nick. Donald looks astonished there. But celebrations all round from the South Africans, and that's a big breakthrough straight after the lunch break.
Late in closing the gap there, it was through before he could do it. and a brilliant fast delivery from Alan Donald, and Australia now 3 for 72. Mark Waugh gone for 5. But one twin goes, the other arrives. Steve Waugh, number 1 of the Cooper's line brand ratings, and look at that average, dipping just under 50 because of 2 failures in the St George's Park test after 160 at the Wanderers. He could be caught. No, just got away from Adam Bacher, and I think Adam Bacher might have slipped in trying to get there for that one. Well, that was a very good delivery from Brett Schultz. It reared.
Have good pace as well. Steve Waugh not knowing too much about it. It's off the glove. Adam Bacher not getting enough hand on that and just getting away. It really was a terrific delivery. Let's have a look at this. Steve Waugh taking his eye for the last minute. Certainly glove involved. What about Paddy? And just falls safe.
Not normally as square today as he is on other occasions, and if he had been in that squarer position he would have caught that, but I still think that his traction in trying to get there, just his foot slipped. Oh, fine delivery right through Taylor.
Alan Donald on this occasion going around the wicket trying to tuck up the left-hander. He certainly does, and Taylor very eager to get bat on ball again to get a start after the break. And that one going through the gap, and interesting enough missing the inside edge, which is the technical problem that he's had for the last couple of seasons.
Taylor fighting for his place in the Australian side, even though he's the captain and a very successful one. He's got this one past the man square on the offside, and it's gone for 4 runs. And that'll do him a tonic of good. Just squeezed past the leg stump. But late, I think, on the shot there.
Yes, I think so. Steve Waugh is always a player, likes to play off the back foot, and you can see him almost waiting on the back foot with this delivery, then the last minute deciding he has to get forward. And of course any movement off the seam will ensure the ball hits the inside edge. That occasion, just a little bit fortunate.
It's over the head of the man at backward point, and that's 4 runs. Brings up the 100.
Steve Waugh is a very good thinking cricket. He knows there's no one down there at third man, and he decided anything short and wide outside off stump, he's going to give it a full go over the top of the slips for 4.
Peeled for a catch here. Umpire Mitchley hasn't walked away immediately, which he often does. He gave it a little bit of thought. Now he crosses his legs and says no. Simcox certainly was adamant.
Let's have a look at that. There was certainly pad involved. Was there any bat? Unless it ran up and hit the glove and then popped up. Steve Waugh certainly is going back to his crease, so he knows he didn't hit it. So a good decision from umpire Cyril Mitchley.
Klusener to Taylor. He's caught. This time he's gone. He's driving at one that was a little bit wide going across him, and he's got, I think, the inside edge there. And Mark Taylor is out for 38. And South Africa have got the 4th victim.
Let's have another look. Is it the same problem with the inside edge? Yes, it is. A fairly thick one, no real deviation. Dave Richardson does the rest. Mark Taylor batted for a long time, and Klusener celebrates as Mervyn Kitchen puts up his finger and sends the Australian captain on his way just to continue his frustrations.
Yeah, Michael, he played a long way from the bat, from the body there, but also the angle of the bat coming across the line of flight, and again finding